Alright, hello. Welcome to Tony Talks, episode 3. Don't have much time today because I'm waiting for my auto insurance. Excuse me, it's a little corona for you. I'm waiting for my auto insurance to give me a call back because Progressive is giving me the fucking runaround. They need proof of residence, which I provided them. And now they're saying they need more than 1 month. And I'm like, I just moved here and I only have an electric bill. They're like, do you have any other bills? I'm like, no, I only have the electric bill. Stop breaking my balls. Go fuck yourselves. You know, you're ruining my fucking Thursday here. And whatever, I'm triggered right now because these stupid insurance companies, you give them exactly what they want. And then they want more shit. And now they're saying, because I don't have anything that's more than a month or more than the electric bill, because my internet, trash, and all that shit is included in the rent. And I don't have cable because, you know, I got YouTube TV to handle that stuff. Anyway, coronavirus is spreading, as is my temper. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody's week has been going well so far. Mine's been going good up until this point. Besides this coronavirus hype being real. Because, I posted this on Instagram the other day. Joe Rogan had an epidemiologist on his podcast. And I was expecting my mind to be put at ease a little bit because the death rate seemed to be low. It seemed like this was something that media was overblowing, but fuck no. It's real. It's a real virus, and the hype is real. And this guy kind of scared the shit out of me a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But you could see just how delicate our society is. This virus gets spread, and it's nothing that's even too deadly. Only it's like 2% or less than a 2% fatality rate. But it's brought our economy to a standstill. It has just caused the NCAA to cancel all of their seasons. No men's basketball tournament, no women's basketball tournament. The NBA season is on suspension. The NHL season is on suspension. Major League Soccer is on suspension. EuroLeague football or soccer is on suspension. NASCAR is going to be driving around in circles with no fans. The XFL will be playing without fans. I think they've been doing that this whole season so far, but, it's official now. UFC will be going on in Brazil this weekend with no fans. And it seems like, I don't fucking know. This is just craziness. Our whole society has been brought to a standstill. I go outside, there's nobody around. Everybody is inside, or I don't know. Shout out to all the healthcare workers because you realize just how important those jobs are. Oh, fuck, the insurance is calling me back. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. That was not the insurance. That was the broad breaking my balls, saying that she needs to go pick up food. I told her to get canned goods because we might be in it for the long haul over here. I forgot where I was. Calling during podcast hours. These are very specific, designated hours that I have. Not really. Nobody wants to drive in Uber because they think, well, I guess if there's a prime thing that's going to be contaminated, it'll be a fucking Uber car. I've been rubbing that thing down with great value. Shout out to Walmart disinfectant. Oh, that's what I was talking about healthcare workers. Yeah, shout out to all the healthcare workers because that's probably the most important job that we really have. When something like this happens, everything can be closed down, but people need to get better. And the people on the front lines are always nurses. Shout out to all the nurses, ER nurses, people that are helping those infected with the coronavirus get better every day. Doctors, God bless them. Those are really the most underappreciated group of workers in society that we have. So God bless them. If it wasn't for them, who the fuck knows? We'd probably be running around the streets grabbing all the toilet paper that we can get because that's the hot item, apparently. People are stocking up on all types of shit. Toilet paper, I still don't get it. I did read online people are stocking up because they might not be able to get in the future. And it's like, if something's essential, if you're going to stock up on something, why toilet paper? I understand the Lysol and the disinfectants, which, by the way, if you stock up on a bunch of that shit and you leave nothing for anybody else, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but there's shortages of all these disinfectants and Lysol and toilet paper, and people just are out for themselves. Not everybody, but it's always a small percentage of assholes that have the biggest influence because they carry things to another extreme. It's always the small minority of douchebags that carry things to the extreme that create more of a burden for the rest of us. So hopefully everybody's able to get their Lysol and their toilet paper so they can wipe their asses, blow their nose, and disinfect the places after wiping their asses and blowing their nose. Um, yeah, the NBA fucking made the decision to suspend the season following immediate. Um, they made the decision to suspend the season immediately following the diagnosis of Rudy Gobert testing positive for the coronavirus, and he was apparently touching other players and all their gear in the locker room. It was pretty pissed off at him, but who knows? He probably didn't think he had the fucking coronavirus. I'm sure he didn't, otherwise he wouldn't have been doing that. But I mean, this thing has spread to some high-profile people. Shout out to Tom Hanks in Australia. He's got the coronavirus. This is fucking crazy. Bellator just announced that they're going to be having fights with no fans in attendance. It's just this is just wild. This is really a sign of the times, and it shows how delicate we are as a society. That something like this, that's not killing. Who the fuck? Let's just remain positive. Let's stay the course. And the big takeaway from all this should be that there needs to be more dynamic response systems in place following these type of outbreaks, because there's still, like, I googled how to get tested for coronavirus. You can't find much or anything. It's like, well, make an appointment with your healthcare provider. They'll call somebody, and then they could get a test. And this shit could take up a couple of days before you're even able to get tested. And by that time, who knows what could happen to you or what you can do to other people. So, this is intense. Donald Trump, we're coming off the news of his address of the nation last night, saying that there's going to be no travel from Europe with the exception of the UK and American citizens for the next 30 days as of tomorrow, Friday the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. So, I think that was something that had to be done. There are many cases in Europe. We made a decision to stop the flights from China. I think people need to just settle in where they're at right now. Everybody should kind of put things on hold, and we just push everything back a month. And what really ideally should happen, bills should be put on hold for at least a month. This will never happen because people need to get their money, but people aren't able to, if you're not able to go somewhere to get paid for your services, your job, and it's a situation like this where they're going to be suspending a lot of major events and a lot of major financial institutions. And if you're in a position where you can't get paid, really, we should just put everything on hold for a month. That would be what I believe the humane thing to do. What will actually happen, I don't know. It's, we're going to be going into muddy waters here. I know I'm nervous. I have a house that I rent out where I used to live in Texas, and the tenant is moving out at the end of this month, coincidentally. And I'm hoping that somebody is able to move in shortly after they move out, because they have the mortgage to pay and I got the rent here to pay. So, hopefully people will still be able to move around to a certain extent. and we're able to just continue to get through this. I mean, I don't know. We got to be optimistic. We have to have each other's backs. Most people don't have the coronavirus. Most people are healthy, so we shouldn't look at everybody else like they're a fucking disease, and they shouldn't have resources themselves to prevent this thing from spreading to themselves because of I don't fucking know. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit here. I've been going down this corona rabbit hole. As long as it's not the Dos Equis rabbit hole, Just kidding. Anyway, I don't know what's the solution. And this is all anybody could talk about. And I don't want to take up this whole fucking podcast talking about it. But with everything being put to a standstill, there's not much you can really discuss at this point. Hopefully we get it right. Hopefully we turn this shit around. Hopefully we turn this franchise around. Let's see here. I was on a news story, and there was something. I got an advertisement that popped up. I think it was on Instagram for a podcast actually, and it was called the No BS Podcast, and they had some type of they're about being just the facts, nothing else. Like there is no agenda, and then the subtitle is featuring four former Obama staffers, and it's like, yeah, they don't have a biased opinion. Let's be honest. 4 former Obama staffers, the no BS. Come on, we know that there's some type of a sliding of opinion there, one way or another. So, shout out to those guys. Hopefully they I didn't even listen. I just saw that and was like, well, of course there's going to be skewed facts or whatever, fake news, if you will. Which the coronavirus apparently is not fake news. It is real news. Maybe it's real news with a little bit of media stirring the pot and making people nervous. But shout out to everybody that has it. I wish you guys all the best. Most people seem to be recovering and doing just fine. In other news, I woke up this morning. I felt like I went to war yesterday because my body was shot. I'm sore everywhere, and it is not from the coronavirus. I don't think anyway. I think it's from jiu-jitsu class because, man, it was fucking like, it was a long class to begin with, and we were practicing very physically demanding moves constantly, and then we had rolls at the end of the class, sparring. And I think, I know the coach is a brown belt. I'm pretty sure this other dude's he's got to be at least a blue or purple belt or something. And then I think somebody else is a white belt like me, and we just, when you do these rolls, hold on, I think these scumbags are calling me back. Oh, these people are the worst, I swear. Anyway, so, so what's going on out there besides the corona here? UFC is going to be done with no fans. We got Donovan Mitchell infected, Rudy Gobert infected, Forrest Gump running, he's infected. Joe Biden's winning more states, even though he clearly can't put sentences together, and they are taking away more and more of his speeches so that he is able to mask his issues. So shout out to Bernie Sanders, who is currently trailing, but hopefully he's able to make up more ground as people become more and more aware of the issues that Joe Biden has, articulating pretty much anything. Bernie Sanders is talking about, speaking of having trouble articulating anything, Seems like I'm having some problems articulating these things. So, hopefully Joe Biden and Donald Trump give us a spirited debate. Those two guys are really, it should make for riveting television. I'm seeing all these stories about Trump coming into contact with people that were infected with the coronavirus. I'm like, how are they tracking this? How are all these parliament and officials from other countries getting infected with the virus? So, that would be some fucking irony right there if Trump somehow gets infected with the virus. This is the first time that he's looked a little bit stressed to me since he's been in office. He looks like he's feeling the pressure now of being the fucking president. Because up until this point, he hasn't had many crises to deal with, aside from the Iran issues earlier in the year. And even then, he just had like an attitude that said, wow, whatever, doesn't matter. He didn't really give a fuck. So, Trump is, looks like he's feeling it. Usually presidents age like in dog years when they first get, throughout the 4 years or 8 years that they're in office. And it looks like those dog years are finally going to start catching up to Trump until this corona thing gets resolved. Because his big thing was the economy, and this is affecting his economy, and this is affecting the health and it could potentially put millions of people in danger. So, yeah, that would stress anybody, and that includes Donald J. Trump. Even he's feeling it, is what it looks like anyway. UFC. Just going to go straight into the rundown now. This episode probably going to be on the shorter end in comparison to the last couple of episodes that I recorded. And I want to talk chiefly about Khabib Nurmagomedov, Tony Ferguson. These guys have been scheduled to fight 4 other times in the past. Khabib has dropped out of the fight twice. I think one time was because of a weight cut issue where he had to get hospitalized. The other time was an injury, and Tony Ferguson has dropped out of the fight twice. So they are 2-2 and dropping out against each other. This time they are fighting April 18th in Brooklyn, New York. And, we said 5th time is the charm, but it might take more than 5 tries to get these two guys into the octagon, because now the coronavirus is canceling every major sporting event. And oh my god, this fight is cursed. It's fucking cursed. If they, this would be insane. This would be unprecedented. It was unprecedented probably when they were supposed to fight 3 times, let alone 4 times, and let alone 5 fucking times. Oh my god. But I have an idea. I think I have a solution that will allow these two guys to finally fight as scheduled April 18th. Maybe not at the Barclays Center. Maybe in a smaller venue with a select group of people. No fans maybe, or maybe like extremely limited, however they want to do it. Cap the spectators at 100 people. Test everybody for the coronavirus, and they should be testing the fighters for the virus now. They should be, everybody that's supposed to be on that card, get them tested now. Because what I think is going to happen is Khabib and Tony are both going to push to actually fight. And I think that maybe some other fights will fall off the card. Maybe they'll do an abbreviated card. But I think those two guys are going to say Dana will fight in front of nobody. Maybe like a Dana White's Tuesday Night Contenders type of event with Khabib and Tony, which would actually, I think, be pretty dope if these guys only fight in a very small environment. And I think it's kind of, there's something that it's a way to like it's romanticized this epic fight, this epic showdown that was supposed to happen, and it's the most hyped event as far as people that are real UFC fans. It's the most anticipated fight in UFC history, and to do it in a very intimate setting with just a few members of the media, just a few spectators, just the coaches, and whatever an undercard that ends up coming to fruition for that fight. Make it happen. Make it happen, because they're still going to be showing the UFC this weekend in Brazil with no fans. That's fine, because there's going to be a lot of people watching. There might be more people watching because people are staying home for everything. People are staying home for every excuse, every reason they can get, because they are being told to stay indoors. If they have a little bit of a cough, if they are feeling at all underneath the weather, they are staying home. And people are going to need something to watch. And this fight will draw more eyes to it than had previously thought. Maybe even, here's an idea, maybe even sell it at a discounted rate, because there are more people at home on a Saturday night, and you could give them an excuse to watch the UFC in the most anticipated fight of all time. The most anticipated fight. It won't be the most anticipated event that is, glamorous and, theatrical with all the fans and the celebrities in the front row. When you zoom in, you'll see all these celebrities that live out in New York at the Barclays Center to watch the fight. There won't be any of that. There will be a select group of people, everybody that will be in attendance to see this fight will be tested for the coronavirus. The UFC can afford to do that. And I think that with the fighters, they will push for this fight to go on, because these two will be ready to fight each other. And this is the first time these two will be ready to fight each other, slated to fight each other, on weight to fight each other, on a day that they were scheduled to fight each other. They will make it happen. Whether or not there can be thousands of spectators in attendance to see it happen, it doesn't matter if the thousands of people in attendance to watch will be there. What matters is the two guys that have the most incredible streaks in UFC lightweight history colliding at the same time, ready and able and going to fight each other. Khabib, Tony, there is still nothing that can be bigger than that fight, and that will provide such morale and really will show that we can overcome things and we could still have great events and able to connect with people at home and all over the world by putting this fight on, because it is still going to be a global event. There won't be these huge watch parties that I'm sure would have been in place. Maybe like small groups of friends will still be able to get together and watch the fight. But as far as like major groups and gatherings, probably shouldn't be happening right now. But you can still have people watch this fucking thing and have numbers watch it. Maybe even put it on. This is crazy. But if you want more eyes on the UFC right now, and if you want to connect with people right now, despite the coronavirus, despite the shutdown, UFC provides tests for everybody that will be in that arena or whatever type of setting it is. Definitely doesn't have to be an arena with a small group of people. Provide tests to everybody that goes in leading up to the event. Have them pre-screened, screened going into the fight, screened on their way out, and be able to still put on the biggest fight in UFC history. It doesn't matter how many people will be there in attendance, because there will be more eyes watching from around the world, especially with everybody being home. And what I was just gonna say is, if you don't want to put it if you want to do something where you're not gonna put it on pay-per-view or at a discounted rate, put it on ESPN live, no pay-per-view, and just advertise the shit out of it, because what I'm sure is going to happen this weekend, the XFL's ratings have been going down. They're going to be playing football, just the teams, no fans in attendance. But I bet their ratings are going to go up because more people are watching the TV now, because that is all reliable for families, for individuals that want to be involved and be entertained. All reliable is your home and your television set. And while we still have those resources, you can optimize it to a level we previously weren't able to do by putting this event on live cable television, Khabib and Tony. And I think that would be the ultimate poetic justice for their saga. And I think it'll draw incredible amounts of eyes from homes. Just make sure it's advertised and promoted properly. They have an awesome trailer for it. I get fucking chills watching that thing, because these two guys have a great presence. Each of them do in their own right, and those are the two best lightweights of all time. And it's rare you get to see the two best guys in a weight division of all time be able to fight each other while they're both still in their primes. But we have that opportunity, and I think those two guys are going to make it happen. Do it live, TV, no fucking pay-per-view. Still call it UFC 249. Do it wherever. You could do that fight anywhere. People are going to watch it. People are going to buy the pay-per-view if you put it on pay-per-view. But I think because of the way the coronavirus is right now, it would be really something if they just put it straight on live TV. No audience, no crowd. Put like 100 people in the arena. Whatever, not an arena. I keep saying that. But whatever type of setting they have. And it'll mean a lot to people, and it'll show people that we can still connect with each other, even if we don't have these mass gatherings. Maybe we could have like live chat rooms that were for like the ESPN stream, and people can record their reactions to it. Imagine how many people will go viral recording their live responses to Khabib and Tony, just watching it, because there won't be any fan reactions that night. So that's just an idea. Maybe that's wishful thinking, maybe that's optimistic thinking, but I think it's something, it's an angle that the UFC, if they wanted to still push that fight, because I don't think Khabib and Tony really give a fuck who's there. They could do it in the gym with nobody around, but that fight needs to happen, damn it. And I'm not gonna stop thinking of ways that fight could still happen, because the fifth time could be the charm still, even with a very limited amount of attendance. And also shout out to Kevin Lee, who said, hey, I'm game to fight in Brazil even with no fans in attendance. It would be nice for the people at home that have to stay home. And yeah, that's a good way to look out for people. So hopefully that's able to happen. And with that being said, that's going to be everything that I'll be talking about this week. I have an Instagram account. I've had the Instagram account. I mean, a Twitter account now. The Instagram is TonyTalks8. The Twitter account is also at TonyTalks8. We have a Gmail account now, so we're really rolling into it, and that's TonyTalks8podcast at gmail.com. And I'm going to be looking to extend the podcast to all your favorite podcasting platforms in the near future as well. That should be done within the next couple of days, hopefully, if I'm able to have the time to do it with everything being on lockdown. It looks like that'll happen. I'm in school this weekend, but I'm guessing that's going to be turning into a strictly online program very soon. So hopefully I'm able to turn out these things to you guys. I'm learning a lot of things right now that I've been wanting to learn for a while, and hopefully I'm able to bring some more of those ideas to life. And hopefully the podcast continues to grow, and we've actually seen some growth, which I was surprised with. But shout out to everybody. If you want, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on the Twitter. I have 1 follower right now on Twitter. I really haven't done it. I just created it and followed. I think I'm following 9 people, and I'm going to be pumping that out, and I'll continue to pump out these podcasts at least twice a week, depending how society is going and everything. Maybe more. I don't think less than that right now, because that was the goal I wanted. And I've been talking to one of my buddies who might be joining me via Skype or phone or whatever. We'll figure it out. And maybe some others as well that can just hopefully tolerate my ramblings live. So thanks a lot, everybody. Shout out to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu North Dallas for keeping me sane with the jiu-jitsu training and everything. I was able to work out today as well, and that's kind of a big goal of mine, is to keep up with jiu-jitsu. And shout out to everybody else, healthcare workers. You guys are the real MVP. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep us healthy, and let's all look out for each other. Thanks. Go fuck yourselves.